The value of art today is a slippery topic. Take a canvas out of the pomp of an art gallery without the price tag, and many people would find it difficult to guess the price of the piece. Like when Banksy set up a street stand for his art and almost no one noticed. Let's see if you can do better. Try to guess how much these pieces of art cost. It wasn't always this difficult. Before the 20th century, especially in Europe, there was a more objective measure of art. There was the hierarchy of genres codified by the European Academy of Arts, with the highest genres holding more prestige and cultural value. And in general, a great artist was a master craftsman and intellectual, capable of capturing reality and recreating history. And as you look up and down the hierarchy, it's clear that there's value given to what is difficult. Faces, which are the hardest to paint, are weighted the highest. Unmoving, simple objects are the lowest. And excluding moral weighting, I think this is a pretty intuitive valuation. What is difficult is valuable. All of this nicely agreed upon valuation was ruined by the dark room, now known as the camera obscura. The name comes from an optical phenomenon where you can project an image onto a back wall through a pinhole. But the image is very dim, so you have to keep the room almost totally dark to see it. And pretty quickly, many began realizing that with film that is photosensitive, they could use the dark room to capture moments forever. It all happened quickly. The first pictures were taken in the early 19th century, and by the end of that century, the Eastman Kodak company was selling cameras with film for $1. This shook the very ground beneath artists' feet. Remember, just before this, before photographs, art was the only way of capturing a moment. If you wanted to remember a view, share some technical idea, or even commemorate your kingly face for posterity, you'd need skill with a quill or the money to buy it. But not anymore. Reality could be claimed by anybody in a bright flash that painted a moment with photon-perfect accuracy, with a higher order of detail than most painters could dream of. Take a second. What do you do as an artist? What do you do when portraits, life studies, even landscapes can be memorialized without dragging out a pot of paint or an easel? They can be done cheaper and faster by any untrained buffoon who's got a buck. What do you do? Well, for artists in the 20th century, a wide scattering occurred, with a burst of art that mostly avoided realism. Cubism, Fauvism, Post-Impressionism, Modernism, Surrealism. There was tons of abstraction and work that defied light to copy it. Looking back, it's not surprising why. When photography burst into our hands, traditional meaning was lost for a lot of artists, and found again with completely different roots. A lot of modern art is challenging the very idea of objective value and meaning. Art today, modern art, doesn't carry an objective or generally agreed upon value because they lost that a long time ago. Instead, the value of art is entirely subjective. Whatever you think that piece is worth is what it's worth. And this means that for many who strike up the intuitive and historical position that art value should be related to difficulty, there's a paradigm-sized gap between them and the artist's prices. And we would do well to observe the cultural shift here in art and other places where a technology has made something easy or automated. Because the birth of the dark room and the way it shaped art history gives us insights into how our modern world and definitions of value might react to the upending of human difficulty.
I want to be a force for real good. In other words, I know that there are bad forces, forces that bring suffering to others and misery to the world. But I want to be the opposite force. I want to be the force which is truly for good.
Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, you guys know how to support it. All the links are down below. And if you like the music, please go check out Joey Pecoraro and Mecha83, incredible producers, as I'm sure you heard. Finally, got some exciting news. I'm releasing a new line of experimental art. It's actually only one piece of art, just one of one. I think you'll like it.